A bloom of non-toxic green algae, so big, something authorities say they've never seen before, is to blame for an overnight boil water advisory in D.C. and Arlington. Well, the advisory was quickly lifted and is now safe to use water at this hour. But the algae bloom in the Potomac River is far from over, and it might be another sign of climate impacts to come. But tonight, Scott Broom is the only environmental reporter covering this story. He's joining us live from the Dale Carlia Water Treatment Plant in Northwest with details on this situation. Scott?
Well, let's talk about what we heard at the Dale Carlia facility today. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which produces water here for all of D.C., Arlington, portions of Fairfax County, more than 1 million people, did describe this algae event as unprecedented.
They've never seen anything this large before.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers explaining today that the green algae currently fouling the Potomac River supplying the D.C. water system is not toxic, but it makes the water so cloudy, treatment can become ineffective. A boil water advisory was issued about 10 last night as a precaution, they said, while they scrambled to add chemicals to the water to control the algae. It worked, and the precautionary order was lifted at 7:30 in the morning. Here's Army Corps Colonel S.D. Pinchason.
In this case, we never fell out of compliance, which is what we were concerned would happen.
The water is safe to drink, according to the Army Corps, but what's going on in the river is a concern. We went upstream in Montgomery County to see the algae for ourselves, tinting the water in some places pea soup green. The river running very low due to heat and low rainfall. Not only is the river here upstream of Washington running really, really low for this time of year, the water is hot. At Little Falls, back on June 23rd, it hit 90.6 degrees on the thermometer there, unprecedented for the date. Hot water and low water, that's the recipe for an algae bloom. Water engineers call the cloudiness turbidity. That's called turbidity. The low water, the hot conditions occurring more frequently now as the climate warms.
The entire utility industry, all our partners are looking at this and monitoring it closely, and definitely looking at the impacts of climate change that it has on algae blooms in the future.
So Colonel Pinchason described all of this as a precaution, an abundance of precaution, those kind of terms today, but this algae bloom is clearly something they haven't seen a scale of before, and it clearly worried them, which was the result of this precaution. Last time something like this happened, they reported to us, was 1996, a really long time ago, and at that time, the algae really was bad. They went out of compliance, and we were boiling water in D.C. for 2 weeks at that time. So it's been a while since something like this has happened. Reporting live at the Dale Carlia Reservoir, Scott Broom, WUSA 9.
Just helpful to have a better understanding of some of the larger climate implications and what's causing some of the problems. Scott Broom for us tonight. Thank you.